Let's drink. I wish I had a voice. Can we talk about Disenchanted? Hello, darlings, and welcome to Performance Perspective, where we watch different musicals, whether they're in film or stage. And we just kind of share our perspectives on it. Now, don't forget to subscribe because today we are talking about Disenchanted. Now, I want to be honest about something. If you have been following me for a while and you might pick up like something's different about Care, I'm kind of in my feels and I'm not feeling 100% myself. And in fact, I was thinking about not even shooting anything. And I think whenever I get into this mood, Thanksgiving is a hard time for me, and there's just things happen, you know what I mean? And the feeling I get is to go hide and then come back when I feel better and then go, oh yeah, that time I was depressed. And it's like, I just want to go hide. But I made the decision to know, like, I post 3 times a week, and I made the decision to not fight through it, not be like, is to write it through and not give up, because, you know, I do think that what I'm trying to do in this channel is much more than myself. And also there's people out there that really do enjoy musicals and just want to talk about it with people. And so who am I to just like go hide because I don't know how to push through? And I will say I'm not pushing myself. I'm just kind of like, how about instead of hiding, you know, how you truly feel, how about we just write it through and just, go for it. So that's it. That's kind of all I really want to say on that matter. And just to say, if you're also someone that kind of has a hard time with holidays, why am I like choking up? We're fine. You're not alone. And listen, let's just like talk about musicals to pass the time. And then when we're ready, we can talk about what's really going on, you know? Okay, so Disenchanted. It is the second part of Enchanted. Now, I mean, it's if you are on my TikTok Care Off book, you will see my reaction through the whole movie. And I love it. I honestly do. I recommend it. It's very enjoyable if you enjoy musicals. And what I appreciate about this is it's 15 years after Enchanted. And what they get so correct with it is we are still following the same characters versus, remember this kind of like, Boy Meets World? It's like we're invested in the show because of these characters, and they're like, but now we are focusing on these characters that we have to now get to know. But we want to know, like, how is Sean? How's Angelica? What's going on with Corey? And so it's nice to see that in Disenchanted, we are still following the story of Giselle, Morgan, and Robert. And guess what? They have a baby, and it's Sophia. So it's very cute. And you have to think about, what was it about Enchanted that was, loved? And the thing is they were making fun of the Disney tropes, right? The fairy tale things. And it was nice to see a lot of those Easter eggs they put in there. For example, they had the voice of Ariel playing one of the actresses, and she's making fun of Giselle for being that Disney princess trope. And it's like, girl, you were that Disney princess. So things like that were like really cool. And also we had a character that we could relate to.
How does she know?
Oh, don't sing. It's okay. Let's just walk.
Whenever movie musicals come out, a lot of people don't like it, and I do think it is a dead genre, but I just have this feeling like it can be revived, like it can be done. And they did a great job of having a character that asked the question, why are you singing? And even him during that, how does she know? Like that whole thing, he's even saying, how do you know this song? Like everyone knows this song. And he's just going along. So we have someone that we could look to and be like, that is relatable. But then we have another character that is a bit, delusional, but we have an understanding because we know they're from a fairy tale world. So they hit that very sweet spot of relatable and delusional all at once. And they did it again. They had different, Disney Easter eggs through the movie that were like, I recognize this through this cartoon, and so forth. But you had a relatable story in the sense of looking at the relationship between a stepmother, a mother coming in, and a daughter. And I was very impressed with the writing, because instead of, oh, Morgan's a teenager now and she's like feisty and angsty or anything, you can actually look at the storyline and look at Morgan and go, I get what she's going through and understand why she feels the way she feels. There's even a great introduction of when Edward and Nancy come in. Dude, James Marsden, oh my gosh. He's just so fine. He is so fine. And Adele Dazeem, Idina Menzel, she looks so good coming into this. They have their, one of the songs that comes in. And I will say Morgan is the one that's more like, oh my gosh, do you guys always sing about everything? Like, she's become more of the relatability person, while Robert has now become more like, yeah, and this is why I love her, the fact that she sings and does all of this. The song that Edward and Nancy sing, they're giving a gift to Sophia, the baby, and the gift is a wishing wand, and they sing a song like, it works for a true Andalasian, son or daughter. And as they're singing this, you see Morgan, and you can see how she feels kind of out of place, because she's not a true Andalasian daughter, and so forth. Whatever, things happen. Again, I don't want to give all the details of the musical, because I really do want you guys to like go and enjoy it. You could just understand why Morgan gets upset the way she gets upset. Let's get into, I don't have anything negative to say about this musical. I think it's well done. I think it's fun to find the Disney Easter eggs, like Drizella and Anastasia's dress coming through. Like, that was exciting. I caught on to the Flora Fauna Merriweather trope before the fairy tale land happened, and I was like, let's go, like, I'm on it. It's fun to kind of be like, oh, this is exactly like Belle, oh, this is from Little Mermaid. Like, I find that kind of fun. It's almost like having like a, not Where's Waldo, but yeah, like a visual scavenger hunt of like, I Spy Disney, like, or whether it's like you can see it or you can hear it, where you're like, oh, how fun. But yeah, the music is Alan Menken and Steven Schwartz, and you think, you know what, guys, like, aren't you guys like kind of done? Disney Renaissance, I don't know if you guys can really keep it going. And then you hear the song Love Power, and oh my gosh, it is so good. Idina Menzel, listen, I wasn't someone that was like, oh my gosh, her voice is amazing, but her performance of like singing the song, it's a song that I wish I could sing. Like, I know that doesn't make sense, but it's something where I wish I had the vocal capability to be able to just bust out this song. I think it's something a lot of wonderful, musical talents will be able to be like, boom, take the song, put in the repertoire and stuff. It's just so beautifully done, and it was very powerful, and it was a great moment within this musical to propel the story. And yeah. Oh, something I thought was really interesting was the one who played Morgan. I was like, it's the original cast. It is not. They had to cast a different Morgan because they wanted her to be more of a teenager, and the original is much older. And she actually gave it her blessing, saying like, yes, this makes sense, this is fine. And she is in the movie. She has a cameo sort of line. Oh, I will say this. So there is a moment of going back to Andalasia, and it's funny when I'm a 90s kid and stuff. I got to grow up with the Disney Renaissance. So, I mean, that's, to me, it's a time, it's really cool. I can't explain how like phenomenal. I feel very lucky to be able to live during that time. But I found it interesting where I'll notice like younger kids saying, "Oh my gosh, the cartoon world is amazing." And in my head, I'm like, "What?" The animation, I will say, it gave me Swan Princess 3 vibes. So that is the only negative thing I can say about this is I was like, the cartoon world is kind of Also, the troll, now in the first movie, he was huge, right? His eyeball would be the size of the window with Giselle. And then at another thing, it shows him and he's like, I call it Hagrid size compared to Edward the Prince. So I was like, oh, okay. Oh, wait, I gotta jump back to the music. The music is so well done. The choreography, the staging of the camera and how it was used was great. The costumes I loved. They went for more jewel tones, which I'm all for, and I thought it was great. And what I found funny was, when Giselle in Enchanted has her like modern day sort of look, it wasn't it. Let's be honest, it wasn't it. But yet, when Giselle became more of a villain, oh my gosh, Amy Adams going back and forth from being, oh, Giselle, to Wicked Stepmother, and she sounded like Samantha Jones as a Wicked Stepmother. It is so well done of her doing sort of like a Jekyll and Hyde, sort of go back and forth talking to herself. And she's so distinct. Like, even if it's not her voice that is distinct, it's her face too. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe this is the same person. Like, so well done. But when she comes in her sort of like, ooh, here I am, the Wicked Stepmother kind of like outfit and going into like the whole festival ball thing, I was like, dang, she looks good. She looks great. Maya Rudolph, chef's kiss. There's also a villain song, and this was something I remember catching on, thinking like, oh, they're just gonna like I find it one of the things when you think about Disney fairy tale movies, there's not a lot of like two main villains. It might be main villain and then like a minion or like a bad animal or whatever it is. But then it's like, no, these are both like villains right now. And I found it interesting. And what I thought was cool was there's another song between Maya Rudolph and Giselle, and it's excellent. Just excellent. That's another song that stood out to me where I'm like, this is a really great duet for people to do together. And yeah, so I noticed the ratings, it was getting like 6 out of 10, but honestly, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, I recommend you darlings to go along and see it. But yeah, so anyways, without further ado, that is it for today's episode. I would love to know, did you watch it? What's your perspective? What are your thoughts on it? And yeah, if you're looking for more magic, I am on TikTok and Instagram. And without further ado, take care, darling.